Hey Victoria, thank you so much for joining us on this special Memorial Day episode of Southbridge Street Live. Before we begin and before I introduce my next guest, we just wanted to thank everyone in our community, within our families, and around the world for those who serve our country to protect our freedoms and our families. We say thank you. So today I have a very special guest. This is Rick Villa, and he is from the Victoria County Long-Term Recovery Group, which is basically an organization in Victoria that didn't exist, I guess, 5 years ago?
They
or
did
this
have,
was
yes, they did
something
have
a smaller, yeah?
They
Oh,
did.
okay, because this is the first, after Harvey was really when I was like, wow, this incredible group has come together, but it's been in existence for a while, and I apologize for that. I want you to tell me everything about the Long-Term Recovery Group, but as I understood it, you guys really became effective and on the front lines during Harvey.
That is so correct, Ingra.
Mm-hmm.
I have to applaud the leaders of this community. Victoria County Long-Term Recovery Group is made up of faith-based organizations,
Yes.
nonprofit organizations. It also has representatives from city and county government. We've been very blessed as a community that all of these leaders had such a vision and had such a determination to go ahead and provide assistance to the residents of Victoria County. So right now we continue to meet families that were impacted by Hurricane Harvey, and they need all types of assistance. Some of them may need a complete rebuild of a home. Others may need roof repair, interior repair, exterior repair, or some may have personal property contents. But the organization is nonprofit. All of our services are free to the public.
Wow. So tell me a little bit about, because my very first question to you is, where are we as a community, as a county since Harvey?
Well, after Harvey, a lot of the data that was provided through FEMA and through World Renew, who came and did an actual survey, they identified about 3,000 residents that have been severely impacted by Hurricane Harvey. We as an organization, we work with 3 other disaster aid organizations. That's St. Vincent de Paul, Rio Texas UMCOR, Lutheran Social Disaster Services, and Victoria County Long-Term Recovery Group. We have helped nearly 550 residents at I'd say a construction cost of a little over $2,200,000.
Wow,
yes,
that's incredible. So what about answering in this way? What does our community and those members that are still struggling, what are their needs at this time, their biggest needs?
It still continues to be construction related. That is the high end of what we're seeing and what we're hearing. We did start a public service announcement recently, and we're having residents, call in or come into our office at 207 North Glass Street. We're located right behind the tax office. We have a corner house that provides an office space for 9 staff, but we are still hearing cases of, repair and rebuild.
Repair and rebuild. So you and I have been friends. So we've been friends for a while, and I know you were in another nonprofit. You moved here. Tell me what it is about the spirit of this organization that moved you to join.
Well, one of the ministries that I have at the church I attend, Jerusalem Family Praise Center, is to counsel others and to actually be a very good servant of God. And with this organization, they have a high number of faith-based organizations, and I wanted to continue, the growth of the ministry. And really, the Holy Spirit is what drove me to go ahead and accept this role as a development coordinator. And Victoria again is so fortunate that so many different church groups got together and continue to work together and to provide assistance. I know that the large number of volunteers that were here after the disaster, and it helped so many of the families, they all came from faith-based organizations. And so that was a big draw for me.
That was really incredible. I have to say, having never experienced a natural disaster in the magnitude of Harvey, and seeing how many organizations, faith-based, and then just other community organizations came together, really brings to me a sense of renewed faith.
Yes.
And renewed faith in humanity. And then, of course, just that call to remind yourself as an individual that nothing is more impactful or, in my opinion, more important than service to others. And so I was really, really proud of my community leaders. I thought that this was incredible, and just of my spiritual community as well. You know, one of the things that I'll never forget during Harvey was, you know, we had done an interview at the Texas Zoo. Okay, and there are a lot of people in our community that love and care for and really try to a big part of their life in animals and recovery of animals and things like that. I did not realize the impact of what Harvey had done to the zoo until I got there, and it was heartbreaking because we live in the country, so we were not as affected, meaning that you can't see visually like the way neighborhoods looked, and certainly not like what it looked like in Rockport, because we did travel there, and that was heartbreaking. To see that our mayor was there. I don't know why that felt so good to me. I guess maybe because there's, I think, down the political line, tons of things that he, you know what I'm saying, that he was doing, but took the time to like care and nurture the animals. I thought was really cool. Like just for me, and there's no cameras there. There's no media. It's not a, you know, it's not a ploy for attention.
True.
He's literally in there shoveling debris. I just thought that was incredible. But then I saw that in so many other areas too. So many other areas. You know, we were not truly affected from Harvey until we actually had the roof repair. And then it was incredible. Like we had minimal damage. And then when they came to repair the roof almost a year later, there was this freak rain, and rain got in the house while the roof was being repaired. So there was more damage during the repair than there was. But it kind of brought home back to me a year later, how extensive is this for some families who are still just struggling to make ends meet, who don't even have the benefit of having, do you know what I'm saying?
No, I
a
do.
year later, we're really struggling. So for me, I guess my point was that it's a year later, and we're really the most affected by Harvey. It just made me think of our community.
So absolutely correct. And I know we have many stories like that. One of the components of Victoria County Long-Term Recovery Group is that we have disaster case managers, and they sit and they listen, you know, with the survivors. And there are some spiritual things that, you know, need to have, you know, attention or be addressed, as well as emotional. So one of our closest partners is Gulf Bend Mental Health Center, and they've been able to step in, as well as Region 3. And, you know, we have also the good fortune of the Mennonite Disaster Services. You know, they adopted Bloomington and Placido. They were very hardly impacted. And they continue to provide help there in Bloomington and Placido with repair and with rebuild. And it's so amazing when they do their home dedication, you know, with the family. And so there's been so much.
What is the home dedication?
The home dedication is where the members of the Mennonite Disaster Service, the entire team, and this could be, you know, a project manager along with 30 to 40 volunteers. And they travel from Ohio, from West Virginia, from Canada, and they're here in our area for a number of weeks. And when they conclude the full rebuild of the home, they go ahead and present a dedication. It's a church message. They have a scripture that they're going to read. They have some gifts that they're going to provide to the survivor. So it's just so amazing. It's just so strong of how that Holy Spirit is. They're such strong disciples of the Lord.
And isn't that incredible
It
too?
is.
Again, you know, just to have people to come from all over the United States and beyond to come in and help in the community
So true.
has
Yes.
been super incredible. So you know, tell me about the mission.
Okay. The mission is to go ahead and provide overall management, you know, the coordinated efforts for the process of recovery. Because, you know, many of the families that are out there, they may be elderly, they may not be, you know, having anyone to assist them in the household. And so they have to start first with that application process. And they can do that by phone calling our office. Our office
really?
assistant can go ahead and take the information over the phone. Then what the next step will be is that they'll provide that to a disaster case management supervisor, and then she'll review that application and then provide that to a disaster case manager. And if necessary, we will make a home visit, but we do try to accommodate the residents of Victoria County from the very beginning to the very end of of the process. Some families, they need more help than others. And there are times when we've also done referrals to the Texas General Land Office because they too are providing services to this community.
What do you think is the biggest need?
I still see that there are a lot of families that were in the floodplains area. And, for them, sadly, their homes are in such despair. I mean, they really need to consider maybe relocating if that's a wish of theirs. So that way they can maybe be in a safer home, a more secure home. And that's one of the reasons that our organization has gone with Samaritan's Purse and other national partners and state partners where we're building a subdivision in Bloomington. It's a 40-home subdivision, and we feel like some of the residents of Victoria County can definitely consider this as another way to secure a safe home.
I see. What do you think is the major reason? Is it finances for people who live in that flood zone?
It is a combination of things. I think that for some, they inherited that home, so it's very touching to them. They want to, it's been handed down from one generation to another. And so we're just at the beginning process right now of just having the applications available and sharing with the community about this other opportunity, for recovery. It may not be the right fit for everyone, but definitely Victoria County Long-Term Recovery Group is doing every effort that we can to be good stewards of the funding that we have and to share the information and to try to let the families, make their decision. We're not going to make the decision for them. We're just going to provide them with the assistance.
Now in Bloomington, in this community, what is the community called?
It's called Hope Meadows.
Hope Meadows.
Hope Meadows, yes.
I love your smile too.
Yeah.
I know that means a lot to you. So Hope Meadows. And where are you in the process? Are you guys under construction? Or have you
We're
guys
in
completed?
infrastructure right now. Matter of fact, the award was provided last week to the contractor so they could go ahead and get started. Our
Oh, so
project
this is
manager
new
is going to be
then.
working. It's very new.
Oh, okay.
We just a few weeks ago did the closing on the property. And so we're kind of, our target date for the construction of the first home is in October. And we're hoping to have 6 homes probably built before the end of the year. We do have another national partner, Disaster Aid Ohio. They're going to be coming in right before October to go ahead and get started on the construction. They were part of the team that was helping Rockport. And so they've done an outstanding job. They have told us that they have skilled volunteers. Their goal is to build 1 new home each week.
Wow.
Yes.
And where will they be building homes?
It'll be in 194 7th Street there in Bloomington.
Wow, that's incredible.
We agree.
So why Bloomington?
Well, I know that Commissioner Danny Garcia was very active, among other leaders. And he knows his area. And, he shared with the Samaritan's Purse organization of the impact. And they did come to Bloomington and did look at all the devastation that was there. And they have done this subdivision throughout the country in other areas. Matter of fact, Warden is a very near area where they've done a subdivision. And so they're in support of the construction and the infrastructure. And Bloomington was the right fit, for this project.
I guess what I'm asking is, Bloomington also had such a high impact.
Yes.
So is it enough to cut because this sounds amazing, so I don't want to take away from that. But what I'm asking is that if devastation occurred in Bloomington, how much, we're looking at 3,000, you said,
Yes.
in Victoria County, but in Bloomington?
In Bloomington, there were like 666, I believe. It was over 650, I know that.
Is it enough? Do you still need more?
Well, fortunately, when Commissioner Garcia and the president of our organization, Mark Longoria, were looking at properties, this property can grow to the size of 70 homes. Right now, we have the funding for 40. So, we'll start with this stage and hopefully we can continue and we can demonstrate to funders that this is an excellent, subdivision and that, it's well managed and that it's well received by the community.
Right.
And so I do believe that there will be, the full growth of all that property. But at this stage, we're only, looking at 40 homes.
And when you say only, I want to say again, 40 homes is amazing.
Yes.
What I was looking for was, does it have the ability to continue to grow?
That it does.
Okay, that's amazing, absolutely amazing. So what could our community do to better provide for?
I think the communication out there, just like with your invitation today to be on your program, we thank you for everything that you're doing with the community. And it doesn't surprise me that each time that I'm at an H-E-B grocery store or at Walmart or at the post office, I'll have someone that says, well, I saw the announcement and I have a neighbor. So if we continue to care for one another, as you stated earlier, and try to let others know there still is help,
Right.
And even though we're about 2 years out, we still have shingles in our warehouse. We have sheetrock in our warehouse. We have furniture. We've had such great partners, from the very beginning, and they continue to provide, to us. I'd like to give credit to Convoy of Hope for what they did for the Victoria community, as well as
Such an
Salvation Army.
amazing-
Yes, most definitely.
So amazing.
So if we could just keep on spreading the word, Ingra, and let others know, among your family, among your congregation, and among your neighborhood, that there is help. We want to try to be that, that provider to help.
Good. So you still have resource.
Yes, that's true.
What you're alluding to. You've got plenty of resource. So tell me, for someone who is still in need, the best way to contact you?
They could go ahead and contact our office. It is 207 North Glass Street. Our phone number is 361-703-5567. Our office is closed today on Memorial Day, but we are open 8:30 to 5 o'clock, Monday through Friday. So please just make a phone call to our office, and we can try to start that process to assist you in your recovery.
That's wonderful. And you're allowing people to apply over the phone, which I think is amazing.
And we also have a very good website. So if they want to go online, they could go online and pull our application, from that method. And there are many that have said, what else can we do to help out? We're looking for volunteers as well too. So I'm going to leave some volunteer packets with you today.
Sure.
But these can be skilled volunteers or unskilled volunteers. It's really surprising because I know I've been at different events and we've met so many different people that says, well, I'm really good at cooking. I said, that's terrific because our volunteers need to have a meal, a lunch, a dinner, etc. So, whatever your ability may be, whatever you'd like to do to assist us, we would appreciate that. Materials, we're still taking donations of materials because sometimes some of the home construction, there's leftover shingles, leftover lumber, leftover paint, etc. And so that can be of a big help to our organization as well.
Wonderful. Now, are there any questions that I haven't asked you that you feel like are frequently asked questions to give the Victoria community some opportunity insight, or you think we covered it?
Well, I think that maybe sometimes the community feels like the organization itself might have some own needs, and we actually do. We're going to have on June 22nd at our office at 207 North Glass in the parking lot, we're going to have a parking lot sale. And it's going to be a fundraiser for the organization. What we're hoping to do is raise funds for the operational cost. Also for staffing costs, and then also monies, to help out with some of the material needs, the unmet needs, of the community as well too. So I would like to, share that with the community as well.
June 22nd is the fundraiser. So tell me about the fundraiser. What are you going to have for sale?
I tell you, it's a slew of things. I mean, it's the traditional things, the clothing, the household items. I know that I talked to a neighbor just yesterday. He's got some fishing rods and some sporting good equipment. And I think we're going to probably get some donations of some furniture and some different items. So it'll be a really giant, parking lot sale, and it'll have a lot of variety.
Like a garage sale.
God, there we go.
Oh, like a parking lot. There we go. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Like a giant garage sale. I'm so there.
All right.
Is there comic books? Because I know that there's some.
Please, if y'all have some.
No, we're looking for some always.
Okay. All right. Good.
Well, thank you so much, Rick, again, for everything that you're doing in the community and for choosing to participate in an organization that's faith-based, but also, too, that just serves.
Yes.
Just think that's
Most definitely.
amazing.
Thank
you
you,
so
Ingrid.
much for coming on Memorial Day.
All right.
Thank you all so much for watching Southbridge Street Live.